Hey everyone, just Brawl here, and I'm giving you, I mean, sorry to it, but I'm giving you my live reaction again, no, my anime review of episode 12, the final episode of Shokugeki no Soma, the third plate. And I know I've been saying the third dish in the titles, but, yeah, everyone knows it's the same plate dish, same thing, whatever, but episode 12 is the final episode of season 3, and my god, that we get everything to close off the year, because it's December 19th right now. We're very close to Christmas. And everyone who's celebrating Christmas in the United States or in the world, I was going to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, which I'll say it again in the end. And we're closing off the year closer to 2018. And this episode definitely ended up in a high note with so many guesses, so many expectations to another arc. We're going to get a season 4 of Food Wars moving down the line. But before we go any more to the end, we got to go deal with the beginning of the episode with the inevitable battle between Soma versus Eishi. And if Soma loses, he'll be forced to join Central under Eishi's run at Eishi's command as the right-hand man. I forgot to mention this episode's title called The One Who Stands at the Summit. And the episode starts off with a scene of Shinomiya cooking in his Shinomiya Tokyo restaurant. And his mind saying Soma is the one that he acknowledges. He's one of the only chefs he's acknowledged before in his past, after been witnessing to his style in the second year arc. His wildness mind, his thirst for knowledge excited him to the point that he'll acknowledge him and says, "Come, Soma, join me at the summit." And we took a shot. And there's a still shot of the school's Suki. Right onto the summit, you see the top pinnacle point in the shadows. It's like the top pinnacle is like, that's the spot where you're going to be joining me, Soma. One day you will join me on that summit. Opening credits. Moving on to opening credits into the actual decision. We finally get to see both Soma and Eishi's disc being together. Well, according to Arena, to Megumi and Aruto. And so what Soma was going to do this time, he pulled out snack chestnuts, and apparently, it's a real snack he apparently can buy. Most people tend to eat a lot of times. But instead, when surprised the fact he's going to add that into his dish, which is a fresh cuisine dish, shocked kind of both Megumi to the point, shockingly kind of was expecting it, but still a little bit odd. Also, angering Hisako to the point where like, this is completely stupid. This is the fresh cuisine you're talking about. They're completely more elegant than most dishes. You're going to throw a snack in here, but yeah, he managed to make it work. The game is even more crazy for Hisako. He brought the charcoal grill that he had than most people tend to grill fish. He put the raw meat with the garnish on top of it and charcoaled the meat and served the chestnut and some sort of brown sauce around the dish to complete his dish. And I'm questioning, like one moment here was like questioning who's going to judge this, how we're going to judge the judge of this. And like Eishi was like, "Oh, well, I just forgot." I was like, and his word, I can't believe I forgot that. And they say, I know, or someone just like open the window. He noticed, like, they even like look at the window. He just noticed that Hisako, Megumi, and Erina were right there, watching and listening to this whole thing in secrecy. And they'll question. And Eishi was like, "Are you sitting there the whole time? Like, what's going on? Did you hear anything?" And both of them were asking, "Why were they?" Someone asked them, "Why were they hiding?" Well, they tried. Two of them were trying to answer, but they couldn't even get an answer because even Erina couldn't even get an answer to why they were hiding in the first place. So ultimately, someone was forced to drag them into them to be the judges. Even fully well, if they have to choose between two dishes, if they chose Eishi over Soma's, Soma will be forced to join Central. And knowing the fact that Soma does not want that, and being sure both having like the main guy, basically the main threat of Central, ultimately being a part of Central could damage the rebel students' chances of ever trying to fight back against Central. But the three had no choice to be compared to be completely not be unbiased to both sides, to either side. Can't be biased to both AC Senpai because of his status as the first seat and being only 10 member. Hisako and Megumi have also be unbiased to the fact of how much Soma and especially with Megumi, that Soma is basically her best friend, also a dorm mate. So eventually, both of them, so and Eishi came out and said, first it was Soma's dish to judge. It turns out to be no one thought it was the meat. It was, I think it was the Tenzion meat. Garnished also with chestnuts, was also a bit of black sauce, and turns out after a bite, all their clothes just got ripped off apparently, but of course, no censorship. They covered the small part. They covered the parts that mostly, or definitely tend to be deemed heavily had to be censored for a general audience. In order to find out there was also a scene where Tsuga, even Eishi senpai, also got hit with Ghost Kaifuken, but his shirt was unbuttoned, and to see there's a close-up shot. I'm not kidding you. There was a close-up shot of his entire torso right moving up to the camera, and that's gonna be heavily thanks to the female fans, because if it comes to any of the female fans, any characters from the female fan base, I think it's a tie between AC. And I think it's definitely a tie between. I think if I had to say top three, it would be Eishi. I'm pretty sure Soma's up there, but since there's no source of him ever getting food gas into a female audience, I'd say Eishi senpai, Ryo because he mostly shows his muscles and this is the most muscular physique, and I think Hayama. I'll get to Hayama later in a bit. But aside from that, moving on from that point, after the close-up shot gets this, the realization that Soma's dish is something unique and unoriginal. It's completely original that only he can make. They move over to Eishi's dish, which turns out to be two pieces of meat, one served in sort of light brownish sauce, and the other served in mix of berries. They cut the meat open. Tenderly, mind, it was just the weight of the knife itself, with no force with a fork, and just strugglingly, easily cutting the meat. And it turns out when he first bite, no food gets a moment. There was a shot about Aina, Megumi, and Hisako in this meadow-like forest area, staying right next to a deer, as if they were in the Garden of Eden. In a way, they didn't mention the word Eden in that thing. Hisako was the one who mentioned Eden in her analysis of the dish. But that's basically what they thought of. They had their no clothing ribbon. They had their own some sort of one suit, light pink, almost see-through clothing on them. But it wasn't one of those completely crazy orgasmic food gases that most people have when tasting certain dishes. And now it was time for the judging. After completing both three dishes, after completing two sides of the three, after completing both sides dishes, Aina was the one who made the judgment, and she went with Tsuga-san's dish, Eishi senpai's dish. And knowing the fact that she made her choice, Soma will be forced to join Central. But apparently, but after now the fact that realizing the true power gap between the two of them, Eishi realized that there's no point of you doing it, because if you were to join me, I can't control you. Because because I have you in my right hand and you're going to do something completely different. And Hisako came in and was like, completely right. You're completely correct. Totally makes sense. So basically, not exactly out of pity for what Aaron assumed it was, but apparently but someone did not take that way in a way. Didn't take that likely. He accepted that he lost. But when Hisako making a point about that, why are you judging? Why are you being too pushed? Why are you being too hard on this? Do not push it any further. You lost. And I'm saying I lost. Don't just accept this. I lost. Accept this. You're gonna do it. I don't want that here. Completely the two mostly between Soma and Hisako were picking at each other. Ryan was they were leaving, or they're still bickering. AC left, and Aaron asked him, "You did that out of pity?" And AC asked, "Is that out of pity?" Most the complete opposite. Feeling that Soma still has more potential to grow, and eventually might eventually become seen at the top summit. But someone realized at this moment, and I think in this sequence, I want to point out the fact that right when Megumi meets someone so you know the huge gap between you two, right? But someone claims that he's not that far. He's not too far that I can't reach him. The next time I will reach the summit, and there's a shot at both Soma and Megumi myself, because those are the only two, along with the two characters from the Rebel Suit, from the new freshman, they're prime candidates, or somewhat like prime candidates to become the next Elite 10 seats, with AC's. Before I move forward from AC standpoint, that those two characters, along with the other Rebel students, are prime memory to become the next Elite 10. When the third year students graduate and some second year students move up to the ranks. There's also a shot of someone pointing out his hand like this, and the camera spins, and we get to see a shot of Eishi Senpai staying on top of the summit. Because that's where I'm standing along the side of Shinomiya and Gin, and Shinomiya pointing out to Soma, you will one day stand here next to me. Then we're cut to a few days later, which I don't think that these two moments, specifically these three Shokugekis, happened in the manga. I think they did happen in the manga, but for the sake of fact, this is the last episode where kind of like the majority of the episode was like the first half leading to the second half of the episode was the Shokugeki between Soma and Eishi. Some things were completely trimmed. Megumi and Ikumi had to compete in their Shokugeki because their RS societies were going to be hit with the purge. Megumi fought that one guy, I think his name was damn, I forgot. The most of the time between those four soldiers from Central, only Rentaro was the one who got the most screen time, while the other three were seriously sublined. I completely forgot their names, but if you don't know their names exactly, I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. Megumi fought this guy who wore green, while Nikumi fought the girl in pink. While Maori fought the one that fought the fourth girl, the fourth character overall from that four soldiers. And a score from 3-0 for Megumi, 3-0 for Ikumi, and 2-1 for Maori. They both won the Rare Society Shokugekis, and they both can stay. So basically, those four students defeated the four. They survived the purge. They defeated Central. It then we're cut to and then right in the audience, we're both congratulating the victory. Someone points out, wait, what about the Hayama Spice Society research? What about the Shinomi Spice Society research society? Basically, we're going to see someone's kind of what happened to him. There was no sign, we didn't see any shot of Hayama doing any form of Shokugeki to protect his research society, Spice, the Shinomi Labs, which, by the way, I've newly forgotten. If those who read the manga to this point, or at least know what happens in the manga, we know what happens with Hayama and the Spice Lab. But, that's leading to another tease, which I will get to later, because after we did the scene with both Eishi and Azumi, it was taken those two discussing what we're gonna what those two are gonna do. Is like some saying like you're gonna someone's the one who lives in the closer dormitory, right? Yes. So after this door and have like Chidorigo celebration for having both Megumi and Ikumi celebrating the victory, and most specifically Maori celebrating the victories against Central, the Aldini brothers were there, including both Eren and Hisako for obvious reasons. I think Ikumi was also there. I don't quite remember. No, I don't think she was there. It was just the Aldini brothers and Hisako and Erina, of course. And then the doorbell rang, and next thing you know, we see a gloom shot, like the one shot in the manga that literally came straight out of a horror movie, specifically something close to The Shining. There was Azumi right there next to the front door, close up, and just went so gloomy. It was like, oh my god! When I saw the next scene, I was like, oh, here it comes! And there we got the scene, no dramatic music, but the music just dropped, and it was like silent for a couple seconds, and then he walks right in, meet up with Amy again, and also dormitory residents, along with the former 7th seed, Eishi. Ishiki-senpai. Yeah, Ishiki-senpai. And then there's a shot, and then like someone has in that one scene entirely, it's hard to juggle what was going on, but Fumio comes in, also playing a little two revelations for most dormitory students and for most audience for anime watchers, and those who read the manga at the time found this little thing. That Azumi's first name was not Nakani, it was Nakamura. Not only that his name was changed because he married to the Nakani family, it turns out he too was also a resident of the dormitory. He was a Pulsar dormitory resident, and by his first year, by almost the same age as everybody else, he was the 3rd seat of the Elite 10. A first year claimed the 3rd seat, so he was behind Gin, he was behind Joichiro, which I'll get to Joichiro in a very close moment. and there was Asumi Nakamura, who was the third seat. So he was 2 seats behind those two guys. So he's both so now in fact he was an alumni to the school. He was also a former resident of the dorm, and a former third seat of the Elite Ten. In the freshman year, he gained that top spot, which there was a small plot hole for the fact that in the first seat that in the very first season of Food Wars, we get to meet both Aina in the second episode. We were finding out that she was the youngest seat to get in the Elite Ten, but it turns out that wasn't the case because Asumi, her father, was the first year in the third seat, but being about what happened between the Nakati family, with him and the Nakati family, between him and the school, his records were completely erased. Felt like he never even existed in the school. But after finally leaving, at that huge bombshell of information, find out that their age, back when he was first year, he was a third C, and his real name was Nakamura. Asumi claimed, why is he doing something for Soma? That this is a cultivating moment that I'm trying to realize the culinary world that ruined Saiba-senpai. Joichiro Saiba. And Soma realized that's his name. Realized the name, Joichiro Saiba. And Soma right in the scene. At the same time, Nakati was running. When I saw the running scene, and when I saw Asumi leaving the dormitory and Soma stopping him to have a conversation with him, I realized the moment that for those three scenes, Asumi outside, Soma coming to talk to him, and then Aina running through the halls, the big reveal to Soma to both Asumi-senpai and Nakati, and Aina, who was running to the door, saying this, by the way, I don't think you didn't know this, but Joichiro Saiba is actually my dad. And right when he says it, right when he says he's my dad, Aina comes into the door, shocked to realize she heard the last four words of someone's sentence. Joichiro Saiba is my dad, right in front of Aina and right in front of Asumi. And Aina, in the manga, she had like a complete mind-blown moment. She's just recollecting her thoughts. Like there was flashbacks to from her past life when she met with JoJo's dishes back then when she was a kid, to the freshman. All the moments were flashback, and there was scenes of it were all going over the screen. And to come to the revelation that these two are related, Asumi was also surprised to see that you're Jojiro's son. And then when the rest of the dormitory comes along with the Aldini brothers and Hisako comes out, even Takumi Aldini specifically, who's Joijiro with Saiba? Oh, that's when Yuki said, this actually happens to be Soma's dad. Yuki took a picture out of her cell phone, seeing a shot of the time when Joijiro came to visit the dormitory, and he found out that Joijiro was Soma's dad. There was pictures taken right thing on the day when he came or the day when he left. He shows us that Arina comes in, Los sees the two together stand by side next to each other, and it turns out she made the connection. Soma and Jojo are father and son duo. They're killing. She didn't have a mind blown one like she did in the manga. Her mind blows shock and all, and she just fainted. That didn't happen in the anime, which I was expecting. But at least enough about that she realized that Soma is Jojo's dad. Jojo's son. Was enough of a revelation. And I'm going for at least 19 minutes because there's so much to talk about in this episode. But to close out the episode, Asumi said this. The reason why he's doing this is because this is the culinary chef that ruined Saiba-senpai, and I want to recreate the world. And he said that in a song despite for his gloomy character, it was purple in the background, sparkles and bubbles were flowing over the screen, but still had the fact that this guy was so creepy enough to say that. I'm going to recolonize the world of the culinary world. I was recolonize, reinvigorate the culinary world that destroyed the Saiba-senpai who I admired in the past. And it turns out that when Soma heard that, both Soma and Aina heard that. So the reason why he's doing this is because Saiba's Jojo is part of this. Soma's question, what happened between these two for Asumi to do all this? And the fact that what her father is trying to do is strangely connected. And that when I realized when the credits are crawling in, and the music and the ending credits song saying this is the last episode, of Food Wars, the third dish, the third plate. Oh my god, 20 minutes. I need to stop right. I had to finish this up, but after that was done, we get to the tease. Not much of a tease of a trailer, but a tease of, if you those who read the manga, there was a shot of both Soma, Megumi, and Aina, two of them saying to be continued. So that to be continued, and in the background there were train tracks. And if you've been reading the manga to as much as I have, you would know for a fact that we're going to the fourth season of Food Wars is going to cover the Hokkaido arc. And with things happening in Hokkaido, oh my god, I can't wait for season 4 of Food Wars. I don't know what they're going to be calling it. Out of the third plate, we've covered the Moon Festival. We've had the Asumi's entrance. Okay, we have the Moon Festival. We've had the introduction of Asumi Nakiri, the Soma versus Izan Senpai, and Soma versus Eishi Senpai. So all those moments, and then there's the survival purge, happened in one season. All that Joe in the one season, I thought it was a rush, but it was not. But Jesus H. Christ, man. To close out the year 2017, 2018, I am looking forward to whenever Food Wars is coming out. I'm pretty sure this came out during the fall, so most likely we're going to get season 4 in the fall. The fact it's going to cover the Hokkaido arc, for those who are manga readers, you know what happens there. And, oh man. As I said, I'm going for way past this clock. I'm going for 21 minutes here, but that was the end of Food Wars, the third dish, the third plate, season 3. We're moving on to season 4 for the next year. And way to cap off the year, it left off on a good note. It kept people some fans. For anime lovers, just guessing for what's going to happen. What do the train checks mean? Or for those who read the manga, we all know exactly what happens, but that's until next year. That's until next year for season 4. So until then, leave a like. I gotta stop doing here because my god. But season 3 packed into one season. It did so well. So until the next, I'm pretty sure we're not gonna get any Food Wars animes anytime soon until next year for season 4. So season 4 hits, I will do a live react. I will do my reviews of them again. So until then, leave a like, subscribe, and always share with a friend. And for those who are celebrating Christmas and those who are in the New York State or those who are celebrating in the world, have a safe and happy Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Laters.